without missing a friggin' beat. Dan versus Next. I didn't even know this was happening. Dan the Manual. Daniel the Manual versus Next here. And right away a 0 to death from Next. I didn't even see what happened there. I saw him hit him off stage with a couple of forward airs. Maybe he got to get down air on Dan, and Dan's just gonna take it and move on to the next stock. That's all you can really do, especially as Incineroar with this huge comeback potential. Looks like he's got a revenge on deck, looking for a side B. He ends up with a neutral B, taking 25%, 66. Woo, no side B, looking for a big reversal here. He obviously needs it after that 0 to death, fishing for an up smash. And these matches just go so much quicker with a hard-hitting character like Incineroar and an oppressive character like Palutena here. Oh, and he lands on stage and gets F smashed. Right away, Next is going to be up 3 stocks to 0 in the first game versus Dan. I believe this is also winners quarters, but let me check. I got to update the bracket, of course. This might be winners semis. This is indeed winner semis. This is top 8. I believe this is best of 5 as well. All right, and Dan has taken much more percent since I last commented on the game. And Next looking to get a quick edge guard on here. Okay, and Dan lands an up B on stage, hits Next. And he's fishing for an up smash. Oh man, and they're just exchanging smash attacks on each other's shield. Dan lands a revenge. Gets hit with a forward air instead. This is not looking good for Dan this time. I know Dan can do it. I know it looks bad for Incineroar in this matchup, but Dan, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Dan here versus Next. He's just got to take this stock, and honestly, he could even reverse this game because everybody knows how hard Incineroar can hit. Did not back throw. I think that was a mistake. Not even, I think even an up throw could have done it, potentially. I don't know Palutena's weight that well. Off stage again with Dan. Makes it back to ledge. No neutral B there, and Next is going to find herself a back throw on Dan's stock, and it's going to be 1 up. Next versus Dan. Let me update the bracket. I'm going to make sure they know it's best of 5. All right, here we go. Here we go. Right back at it. Dan with Incineroar, Next with the Palutena, of course. Game number 2. Didn't see the stage pick. Sure it's going to be as small as possible. Dan does not want as much space. Oh, and he goes PS2. Okay. I guess this is good. Probably a ban on small battlefield, of course. I'm not going to be able to go there. And he lands like 3 or 4 up airs there, and Next is already at 40%. Honestly, for as many hits as Incineroar got, not as much percent as he would against any other player, any other character, and especially with some revenge. But this is about even. This is about as even as it's gonna get right here, and catches him with an up air. I was not seeing that. I did not see that coming. And Palutena's patented neutral airs combos all the way across the stage. Okay. Misses on the side B. Dan finds himself an opening into an edge guard. Not going to kill just yet. Any more down tilts, and that could be the stock for Next. Dan looking for nairs, and he lands himself a backer in the recovery. Back to the stage, and Next on her second stock. It's just so oppressive, that back air from Palutena. And from Incineroar, the same deal. Finally finds a back air high on the recovery from Dan. And Next is up a whole stock here. And these nairs are just so much pressure for Dan. Next is not one to just run in all willy-nilly, and she's going to catch Dan every single time. Oh, and he goes a little bit too low. That's going to be a really quick game number 2. An SD, unfortunately. Next goes up 2-0 in a best of 5 versus Dan. This is winners top 8, I believe. Which, really cool. I didn't think that we made it here already. I wonder, I'm willing to bet it's going to be Christian C- on deck for this next set. Back at it, baby. Incineroar versus Palutena. They mean business, dude. They're not messing around. Game after game, they're just right into it. I know Dan doesn't want it to, this bracket to run even any longer than he has to. Let me be right back. All right. Next finds herself a tech chase on the platform, looking for that side B like she was before, but this time landing it. But Dan finds himself on the good side of the stage. Palutena off stage, exactly where he wants to be. Oh, and finds a back air. Not going to kill just yet, almost. He's throwing her a little bit too heavy, but that F tilt is definitely going to take it on the high recovery from Dan. Not going to get caught by a back air, but he's definitely going to get caught by that forward tilt. Ooh, looking for a potential roll on stage. Ooh, this could be trouble for Dan. Okay, reverses it. Finds the nair versus Palutena. Again with the nair. Really good on this teleporting recovery, but misses it that time. It's going to be a reversal. And this is huge for next because she is just so oppressive in the corner. Or I guess when her opponent is in the corner. But Dan finds himself a good reversal and takes the stock. And it seems like this match has just been living on the side of the stage here. Also indicative of just how fast these players have been choosing to play this this matchup. Ooh, and punishes the revenge with the down air. Okay, let's go, let's go. Finally reaches with one of those side Bs. No down tilt after like 4 of them, but that big get off me tool with that neutral B. Darkest Lariat gonna keep Dan in this game. Okay. It's these little minute mind games that like neither of them are gonna hard commit to anything, so they're just not doing anything in each other's face. It's actually so cool to watch. And Dan, that's like something he has to rely on as Incineroar, but it's really cool to see Nex in these scrap situations doing the same thing. Finally lands a nair, is gonna take the stock. This is exactly where Dan wants to be. I think this is the first game he's been last stock, which is really nice, and I think that he can totally do this here. He finds himself a double grab opening on the tech chase. And the edge guard once again. Next finds herself back on stage, but not in Dan's house, bro. He's gonna hit her off stage with a back air. No Darkest Lariat gonna connect there, and it's gonna be a reverse. Dan finds himself on the edge of the stage. And this is anybody's game right here. Dan makes it back to ledge with that side B, but so much pressure from Nex. These landing neutral airs are going to keep sending Dan off stage, and the down tilt is going to take the stock and the set. And next, it's going to be sitting, I think, in winners finals, awaiting Jax versus C-.